say, and because there's so much that I want to say just to make sure that you get it and understand, the power of God, what He can do in your life. And, it's just a testimony, and then, what Jesus did for me. But, I'm just going to start in 1982. I was born addicted to drugs, dead when I come out of my mother's womb. Came to a crack house. My dresser drawer was my baby bed. My mom was, doing whatever she could. She was a pretty woman. She was every drug dealer's trophy. My dad was not around. She was a kid that ran away from home that had a kid. Ended up taking care of my little brother. Started robbing houses with my mom at 8 years old. Started stealing drugs from her and her friends so I could feed my brother. Everybody else was going to school with their families, nice little holidays like this. I wasn't there. I had to break into cars and make my brother watch. I had to do those things. My mom used to set up the gas station, their living room like a gas station to teach me how to shoplift. And then I would go in, I'd steal the change, I'd, steal the meat and buy the bread. And, that went on time and time again, just from here to there, drug dealers, bikers, all these things. I ended up overdosing when I was 12 years old. And they found a quarter-pound of weed and a shotgun in my closet that was mine. I thought I was going to get me and my brother out of that situation. They took my brother from me. He, all these times, all my life, I was laying in bed, pray to God, please let me have a dad. Please let me have a family. Please don't let me lose my brother. And, it seemed like those prayers was never answered. And, when I moved in with my grandparents, when I met Ryan, I was already did so many things, and, it was like Bel Air. I was like the evil Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I was gone. I'd done, it was, and, so, my whole perception of reality was distorted. I was separated from the facts of life because that's what the devil wants. I was separated from, I was actually proud that I could be a breadwinner for my little brother. I was proud that, I could go steal something, if I thought it was just from the store that hurt nobody. I don't even care. This ain't something. I'm just saying. But the whole thing is, I started, I got farther and farther and farther away from the truth because my eyes were just filled with so much deception and I always did the wrong thing with good intentions. I thought since I had a smile, made it look cool, said something nice, my idea of helping somebody out was coming to destroy your family selling drugs and then see the kids with no water, and I'd pay somebody some duck to come cut the water main up to give them babies a bath and think I was doing a great job. And my heart was in the right place, but my actions weren't. And I always said a million little prayers every time. God, get me out of this. God, get me out. So 15 years old, me and him was, all of us was driving around. We get caught with a pound of weed. I get locked up. I get out, I go to a house, about 3 months later, my mom was tied, I seen her, my brother's dad tried to kill her when I was like 6 years old, trying to put too much cocaine in her arm, blew her up, I had to untie her. Then I get out of juvie, me and Ryan was there that day, and my mom's boyfriend stabbed her, sat there and had her to a chair, stabbing her. And then he pulled a gun and tried to, kill me. And he ended up, being put into his head, laughing and joking, blew his brains out from him. So I had to clean all his brains up. All right, Ryan came here that day. He sat there just hours later. Then, so of course I'm violated house arrest. And then I get locked up, do it for years. I get out. That big party they had for me on Scary Creek, But anyway, so, when I get out, I thought, I had this fake sense of family because that's what I've been looking for my whole life. I had this fake sense of loyalty and family, and so I just went back to the right things, right back to the same things. Ended up going to prison for 4 years. Got caught with a half pound of weed in prison. Did my first 19 months in the hole straight. And then just in and out, in and out, in and out. And she.
What's the matter?
She fell.
Oh. She okay?
She okay?
She okay?
She okay? Okay.
Everybody see them.
It's okay. It's tough. But it was just it's in and out, back and forth, back and forth. You know, and I got like farther away from the things I want. By this time, I'd already had a couple children. You know, and I had done separated from family, my kids. Had more charges on my record. You know, and then eventually, you know, I was on the run, my youngest son's mother, met her, I was on the run, and, you know, when I met her, ended up going to prison, were we good? Nope. Hello? Ended up going to prison, and finally got out, got back on parole, and, I don't know, got back out on parole, I can scream. I've been screaming in the whole 6 years, I can scream in here. Yeah. Oh, okay. But all right. So the whole thing was, you know, I was just separated from everything, and like I thought that I was alone all those times, and I prayed every day, but I just didn't. I didn't really know. I didn't have a relationship with God, you know, and the whole thing is, you know, I was just so mad because like my whole life it seemed like. You know I was doing all these good things in my mind. I thought I was. I always tried to like not have no malice. I was doing good things, doing good deeds, and just doing things that I thought were good. But I didn't have a relationship with God, and I didn't even know what that was. I had no clue. I thought it was just some people over there with an opinion of a feeling they think they have. You know, that we're all different. They don't understand. Blah blah. Poor me. Poor me. Poor me. You know. But at the end of the day, you know, I always thought in my mind, I was like, well, if God, you know, can, you know, if he's everything, then why can't he fix this? Why can't he step in right now? Why didn't he stop my sister from getting molested? Why didn't he stop my mother from getting raped? Why does he not stop this? Why is these babies dying of starvation? Why are all these things? You know, so it was just, you know, and no, if you don't seek the understanding and actually get to know God, these are things the devil loves. He's just an immature little child over there dancing. He loves when you're confused. He loves when you're crying. He loves when you're thinking about yesterday and not focused on what you're doing today and his plan for you for tomorrow. It's separation, divide, and conquer. Right. You know, that's point blank period. You know, I back up a little bit. I got arrested in 2017-18, and so they take me to Southern Regional Jail. I was out of parole at a house I wasn't supposed to be at. I go to jail. I'm high as out of my mind. Been selling drugs, been doing all this stuff, and I went into the jail. I told everybody I'm not from here. Flat out made a knife and said, "Don't talk to me. If you come in my cell, I'm killing you. I don't care." You know what I mean? I done been stabbed, shot, I done did all that. Duct tape people, I done did all that. Robberies, parts of I done did it all. Check my record, I did 17 and a half years in prison. You can Google me. All right, I've been a total idiot, okay? So I was sitting there in that cell and I was like, you know, God, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you playing your little jokes, cussing you out, calling everything. Either kill me or let me live. I'm tired of it. I broke every knuckle I got on the floors and the walls. And, you know, I locked myself in that cell and I was just sitting there cussing, you know what I mean? And cussing out God. And I said, just kill me or let me live. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Always been almost there. Always been this. Always been that. And this old man opened the door and like I've heard it a bunch since then, but he said, you know, God gives his hardest battles to the strongest soldiers. And I didn't even care what he had to say. I had that knife strapped in my hand. I said, man, and then he slammed the door. And when he did, it was like I hit the ground kind of. You know, and I knew it was like I was, it's the best way I can think of it. It's like I was in a dark cave and I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, and I was just in there eating bugs or something. And it's just like I finally felt a wall to where I knew that there has to be a way out. You know what I'm saying? And and I got out of jail, selling drugs, still doing the same thing. But it's like every single time since that time, it's like. You know, he was narrowing me down, just taking my decisions from me. You know, even when I wasn't, you know, redeemed by his blood, I was still one of his. You know, I was still that sheep that's over there. You know, he leaves the flock and comes and gets you. You know, and I'm telling you, he had to get bolt cutters, kick a gate open, local road and all kinds of stuff for me. But he did that. He was willing to do that, you know? And he did, because he loves me and he loves all of us. And the thing is, you know, everything just led up to a part to where, you know, I got, you know, of course, went to a place, met this brother right here, Hugh Deskins, Chris Moffitt, and they totally introduced Jesus Christ in my life. And, you know, it was so unreal how it happened. It's a long story, but, you know, I've always been a little slick talker, whatever, walked the yard, every prison, every juvenile facility, 7 regional jails, you know, I lived with the killers and all that, and I was good, all right? But I tried to manipulate him every single way I could. Fast talk, sideways, up, down, through a wall, whatever. And he is the only person that's ever talked to me with straight love, truth, and just understanding. And you can't manipulate something that's true. You know, and I used to say, Hugh, man, you're the truth. You're the truth. Chris, man, you know, me and Chris would talk about it. And he told me one day, he said, Hugh's a liar. Hugh's a thief. Hugh's a deceiver. Who you're admiring is Jesus Christ. You know, and he said, you were all in for the streets. Can you be all in for God? You know, and I'll never forget it. He said, you know, I found the bread of life, and I want to show you where it's at. He used to get so mad at me. I keep trying to talk some story. He'd be like, I found the bread, man. I found the bread. Just let me show you where it's at, you know? And man, when he did, you know, him and Chris, you know, and the guys there, you know, we just started interceding in each other's lives. And I just took a step towards God, and he took 10 to me. I took a no, and he took 100 to me. You know, I tried to walk towards him, he hugged me. You know, and you know, it's just like, I mean, it flat out. You know, it's just like a friend. You know, I realized I've been looking for friends and family my whole life, and what happened is, you know, these people, I got more knife wounds in my back than I can count. You know, I don't know how many times I've thought I had some kind of peace or some kind of place, you know what I mean, where I felt at home. They're playing by a different set of rules out there. Ain't nobody playing, you know, the thing is, I was talking around about it. You meet somebody on the street, you got to spend 6 months, you know, doing all these things, and you meet a man of God, that's a true man of God, you're already on the same page, same set of rules, the same love, and the same commitment, the same mission, and the same path. You know what I mean? That's going to be, you know, that's just what it is. So there's a complete and a wholeness. You know, you once this, like, you seek him, and you start getting that word, and then, you know, the reason why, you know, the blessing for me is Jesus Christ. Just my relationship, a father, you know, just the total peace and certainty. I don't worry about all those things that I did, because he lets me focus on today, and he takes care of tomorrow. Yeah. That's really what it is, and the reason why, you know, if I'm standing right here and all this turmoil and all this other stuff, and I'm tired of looking at this, it ain't doing nothing but try to kill me. The only reason why I'm alive is because he keeps blessing me. It ain't luck, it's a blessing. So if I'm like, man, God's over here, and I'm like, all right, God, all right, God, all right. And you look back, eventually you're going to be farther away from him, from the devil and from the things, you know. And I was always under the impression that, you know, I'd be like, man, the devil's in my, you know, in my head, or in my, you know, the devil ain't telling you nothing. You're telling yourself stuff. The devil cannot read your mind. He can't read your heart. Period. The devil can only put things in your path. He can whisper in your ear, but you got to choose to let it in your head or in your heart. That's it. You're giving him too much power. Yeah. You're giving him too much power. You can't sit there and say, the devil told me. No, that's yourself. You still have a battle with flesh. But if you pray to God and seek God and ask for his direction, now you might not like what he says. I said a prayer in this book he gave me one time. It said, Samuel, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. I told you I did that. He said, watch what you're doing. I said, why? He said, because you might not like what he said. You still got to do it. So it ain't all roses. It's prosper, gospel. Yeah, it's a wishing well. Alexa, give me the Alexa. God's not Alexa. Flat out, he's not. But I'll tell you what, though, whatever problems you do come on to, he will give you an understanding, a peace. And he says, lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. He's going to give you a way out. I mean, and he's going to answer every prayer, you know, because he knows what you need when you need it on his time. It's going to happen regardless. Whether you like it or not, so you might as well get on the ship and sail. If not, he's going to wave at you from the dock, but you're still on there. I mean, you got to be somewhere, you know? And you know, that's my whole thing. Like, That's my only fear with this now is my daughter asked me one day, she said, Dad, what's your biggest fear? And I said, turn out like my father. And she said, who's that? And I said, exactly, because my dad was never around. And now, I have a father. Yeah. And I have a father.
I love
and
it.
I have a family. I love it. And I'll take you back, in those times, whenever I was just a kid, nobody really, that's why it's so important for us to go and tell people and really get in their life and disciple them and try to introduce them to Jesus. Because, if somebody would have told me when I was a 7-year-old child, hey man, I know you're praying to God, but he's your father, you got a family, lean on him. Lean on him. If somebody would have guided me then, but you know what, that's how God works, so maybe I wouldn't be here telling somebody else. I'm willing to go through everything I went through because I made it out. You know what I mean? And I bounced back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I went through all those things because I feel like maybe I can do what God wants me to do. But I just know that my desires is for Jesus now, and it's changed all my desires. I realized that one day when I woke up and couldn't wait to get done with what I was talking about, so I could go read the Bible. I was like, what is going on? I was like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, and they asked why, But I was just like so excited about it, and it's just like, man, this is the thing I was talking to a couple people too, is when they ask you to give your life over to God, they say, do you believe he died for your sins? Do you believe he rose 3 days? All right, you're saved. That's true, but how might did he do it? Before he came here, you had to go through a middleman. You had to bring your sacrifices. You had to be from the tribe of Levi. You had to hope he likes you. You better hope he don't find a mud puddle in your lamb, whatever. And that's the facts of it. But when Jesus, everybody's got these other religions, and I'm sorry if you do. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm not on this. Jesus is a little peace-loving hippie Jerry Garcia. Jesus was a radical man that was not a coward. That came in places he knew he was going to be murdered for you and did it just fine. And did not care, flat out. He came here, I don't care whatever religion there is out there. He's the only one that dealt with death. Look it up. Go over and look it up. Everybody says, you'll get 7 clearance in a nice marriage. You'll get 18 flowers in a little garden of weed dirt. No, he came here in the form of a man, walked this earth without a blemish, knew he was going to get murdered, went there, died, went down, got the keys to heaven. It took him 3 days, and he's the last man to die if you accept in his bloodline. These Pharisees never tell you that he was a direct descendant on Mary and Joseph's side from Abraham and David's family. Okay, that's the first thing they did is run them tabernacles, look it up. His prophecy was fulfilled. He's an actual man that came here, and died for you, and he would do it in a second again, But that's the whole thing that I never really got until recently. The guy explained that to me, and it really completed everything to me. Jesus is the only one that dealt with death, and when I look back at my life, I realized when I spent 6 years in solitary confinement my whole life, in there punching walls, wishing I was out there with my kids, people I love, all those things. And, I walked, that little walk, my goodness, I put a rut in the cell. But, I never was, you ever heard that song? He was with me in the fire. He was, what I mean? Well, he was with me in the cell. He was with me in hell. He was with me when I was in the dope house. He was with me all these places. Even though I wasn't doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying? He still loved me, and that's just amazing to me that, he's that patient, forgiving, and just loves you. And I just encourage anybody that I just think look, that's the devil messing up the Wi-Fi. Not today, Satan. Not today, player, huh? Yeah, we ain't doing that. But just all I can say is just trust him. All he wants to do is build a relationship with you. That's it. All the different. They ask me a lot of times, what church you go to? I just follow Jesus. Well, aren't you? No, I just love Jesus. Well, this so-and-so is going to be there. I don't care. I got a few family members and stuff came here. I'm flattered you came, but you didn't come to see me. I came here because I love you so much. I want you to meet God and know change your life. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. You know what I mean? Because if you come to see me, you better, if it's just me, I might duct tape you and take the car out to the truck, ask you what you want to listen to. Flat out. But with Jesus, just like you said, with Jesus in me, I'm the person that will try my hardest just to get through to you or whatever, because it gives me a love and a purpose to, and I mean, I've been trying to explain it to people since it's happened to me, and I still have not succeeded one time to explain it the way I feel like, because there's no that you can't explain it. And God is as big as you make it in your heart. If you think He's only going to have limitations to do this, that's all He's going to be able to do. But I don't even try to understand how He does or why He does it, or all I know is He can. That's it. That's it. That's all. I just know He can do anything. And if you just trust Him to do anything, then He will. Yeah. But anyway, I just ask you, anybody, just please accept His invitation. Like my buddy told me one time, he said, Jesus is a gentleman. He's going to offer you dinner, but He's not going to make you come. You can keep digging through the trash on the street. You can keep, fighting over something that He's going to give you free. Or you can get in this limo. He's got a free 99, hope and hugs, not dope and drugs. He's got all that. And you can go to these programs. You can talk to your, buddy or whatever, and you can, I heard this the other day. You can be temporarily recovered, or you can be fully redeemed. There's a difference. You know what I mean? There is a difference, and I can tell you that because I really feel that. The guy called me the other day and wanted me to rob something, $18,000. I was gonna close my door on all the people. He said, "Man, there's 18 bands in this car. Dude's in Ohio. We can bust this window out." I said, "I love you. Wish you wouldn't do it. I'm gonna pray for you." He said, "What?" He said, "Bro, we're gonna get this money." I said, "Bro, I'm rich. I'm rich. I swear, I'm rich." It is. I've had money, been broke. I am rich in my heart, and you can't put a price on it. But, I don't know. That's y'all got. I'll give it back to Lindsay and them, but I just appreciate them believing in me, and like Hugh and Chris and Brett and all these guys that really was there for me and believed in me when I couldn't even believe in myself. You know what I mean? But I really love you guys.